He's with us every Thursday morning here. It's Paul Harding from Martin Harding and Mazzotti. Hey, Paul, what's shaking, buddy?
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Paul, any comments on the Giants game last night?
I'm a Bills fan, and so my season is always quiet.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about this story, Paul. This was in our news pile a couple of times this morning. New York's highest court will consider legal arguments by a strip club on whether nude dancing is an art and deserves a state tax exemption. We know the folks over at Night Moves. They're part of this case.
Yeah, they brought Cantera's birthday present in
Yes, they did.
this week. And I've seen this. I've seen some of the court documents. It's been going on for a little while, but they're talking about like $130,000 worth of potential taxes owed because of them saying that it's an art form and they don't owe taxes. So what's the deal?
Yeah, and it's a significant case beyond just what's happening to Night Moves, which is very significant to them. Yeah, these couch dances, lap dances, they're cash, and the cash is going between the patron and the dancer, and there's been no tax paid on it. And as an employer, you have a responsibility to make sure tax is paid. So the big tax bill of $125,000 is kind of hanging out there. They're saying that Night Moves owns that. And what's happening nationally is the big chains of clubs and the other individual owners are watching this case. And they're watching this case because there's been some murmuring around the country of this, but the state's highest court of appeals, New York State's highest court of appeals, if they go along with the lower court's decision and say the tax is owed, then these other clubs just get ready, and they're nervous. They don't want to be put in this position.
Where is everybody right now? Right now, everybody is assumed, like the rest of the country says, hey, it is an art form. We don't have to pay taxes on it, or is that not the norm?
Yeah, it was a double kind of thing. One, they said they're independent contractors, so independent contractors we don't need to be responsible for that. Now that went away in recent years. So now the issue is, kind of a no. They just never talked about it. This art form argument saying it's an art form, it's a choreographed dance, therefore exempt from tax. That's an argument that the lawyers made, when they're trying to figure out how to do something with this tax bill. But it's just been one of those things that have gone really untaxed. And now with the economic times, and if you talk to most business owners locally, they're getting letters from the IRS they never got before, sales tax audits and et cetera. So this is just an example of that. But, obviously it has some spice to it because of the nature of the nature of what's happening.
It's attorney Paul Harding on with Quinny Cantera. It's PYX 106. Could this go the other way? Could they end up having to pay the taxes, and then could
the rest of the country?
Yeah, could musical and art performances actually not be exempt either? Could it work that way?
Yeah, it really could. I suspect that that argument is one that just makes headlines. Sure, it could happen that way, and then New York owners would be forced to pay, and then the out-of-state owners the other owners would not. I suspect the Court of Appeals, as the highest court in the state, is going to uphold it, and then they're going to go ahead and negotiate some kind of a deal here. Maybe they'll bring in choreographers. I don't know, but they're going to try to at some point.
I volunteer my time, Paul.
Yeah, it might be a big list. Yeah, you're right.
All right, so can we just boil this down to whether or not stripping is considered an art performance? I mean, can it get that simple?
Well, yeah, I guess it could. It's the choreographed nature of it is what the real core of the argument is. Meaning, is this something that where the facility, as they would in a play, or they would, that they sort of go through the motions, the lines, and maybe there's a general sense of how we do these things, but specifically, is this really choreographed down to the moves? I suspect, and having never been engaged in such activity, I suspect that they're individuals who are doing individual actions to the clients. The dance moves and all that are not uniform. They're not synchronized. So
I don't see. I love Paul. I love Paul trying to discuss this topic. Paul, let me take the adult side out of this. What other line of work do we find independent contractors in? Like people rent booths at hair salons, and they have to pay certain taxes, that kind of thing. Isn't that similar?
Yeah, they've all been cleaned up. I mean, one by one, they're all getting knocked off or being confirmed as true independent contractors. General proposition: that was absolutely one. Was the folks renting the booths? They're saying, and actually they found to be independent contractors because they brought their own tools, they brought their own technique, and they would go out and get their own clients. So that was fought, and that they are independent contractors.
And how much of this is a witch hunt because of the topic?
Well, it's a money hunt, really.
Yeah, economic times are driving this.
But no, wait a minute. It's a money hunt on paper, but in order for this to happen, somebody had to sue them. Okay, they didn't get. Someone had to blow the whistle, or pat somebody's ass, or give them some money, or take them out to dinner and talk about taking this down for their own moral issues. Am I right?
Yeah, I think beyond that, you may absolutely be right. But beyond that, let's face it, these towns don't love these facilities. So they would love to see them closed down, and I suspect that the motivation has been tax-based and also political.
Well, I love them.
Paul,
I wish Night Moves the best of luck.
We got to wrap it up here, but I don't know if you can say this on air or not, so I'll leave it up to you. But is there some famous money behind this lawsuit here? Yeah, there is. Flint Enterprises, of course.
Larry
the
Flint. Larry Flint.
And is he helping Night Moves with this case?
It's by the word on the street is that he and a group have funded the defense of this case, which has been very expensive.
Yeah, I bet.
Because they know the ramifications go far beyond Latham, New York.
Yeah.
All I will say is I went to Mass Mocha a few years ago, and it was considered an art installation that somebody put gum on the ceiling and stretched it to the floor.
Yes.
Now, if that guy got a grant, I think Night Moves should be cut some slack. Because, I'm all for,
art is art, man.
Art is art,
it's
and
subjective.
I'm all for it. So it's in that case, if art is art, so is this. So that's where I stand. Paul Harding from Martin Harding and Mazzotti. Reach him at 1-800-LAW-1010, 1-800-LAW-1010. Next week, we're going to talk about the Navy SEAL book, No Easy Way. Or,
oh boy.
but the Navy SEAL book where the Pentagon is saying perhaps this guy let some secrets out. We'll talk about that next week, but thanks for coming on this week, Paul. Appreciate it.
We'll see you next week, guys. Thanks.
Are we all going to Night Moves after the show?
I normally get there about 5, so if you guys are there, I'll see you. Yeah.
See you, buddy.
Bye, guys.